95.9 KCKL Malakoff. Athens, Champlain Country, 95.9
95.9 KCKL. Good morning to you, East Texas. I'm John, and we got some special guests in here today, Brett and Shai. All right, well, just wanted to fire off again. Anyways, we got Brett and Shai and somebody else, Curtis.
Curtis Webster.
How are you guys doing today?
Good, John.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
No
Doing great.
problem. No problem.
Yeah, I want to say happy Groundhog's Day to everybody and good morning. And I know this is my favorite day of the year for marmots. And while I still do not know how much wood these woodchucks can chuck, I know that everyone was anticipating two famous groundhog predictions this morning of whether we would have an early spring or not. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, and he predicted 6 more weeks of winter. But I know what Southerners are more interested in is what General Beauregard Lee had to say. Regrettably, he also saw his shadow, but unlike his northern counterpart, the general did not let this get him down, as he enjoyed his favorite breakfast of scattered, smothered, and covered hash browns from the Waffle House. The general also informed me that with the housing market being so good this year, he decided to get in on the action and into his new home in Dawson Trails on Monday. He'll be spending the rest of the winter renovating his new home and preparing for spring, where he can finally see how much wood he can chuck. If you or any groundhog you know are looking to buy or sell, you can always give us a call.
So it sounds like this morning that General Beauregard Lee spoke eloquently the truth from his fine southern mansion, while Punxsutawney Phil, the marmot of northern aggression, just happened to concur.
Yeah, well, we're gonna stick with the Lee's prediction.
We're going to stick with General Beauregard Lee because we're going to go with this housing prediction that it's going to be another good year of
It's
housing.
going to be another good year for housing. But this morning, more importantly, we would like to welcome Curtis Webster. He's been assisting clients in our area for many, many years on the buying and selling of commercial property. And we'd just like to say hello, Curtis.
How y'all doing?
We're doing good, thank
Doing
you.
good. Glad to have you.
First thing we want to ask you is, what is the difference between residential and commercial real estate?
There's a vast difference between commercial and residential. Commercial, you have to consider such things as zoning, traffic counts, other types of things when you're looking at commercial properties. When you buy a commercial property, there's a couple of things that are real important. Number one, you may want to consider a phase 1 environmental, which is an environmental which the specialist checks out who the neighbors were, what uses it was, and so forth. And then if that is necessary, that they think there's some problem, they'll follow it up with a phase 2 environmental, which is soil borings and things like that, to make sure no chemicals or gasoline has filtered into the aquifer below. And then when you're considering a commercial property, the zoning includes such things as office, shopping center, fast food services, and other type of commercial uses. And that's what the national credit tenants and also local people are looking for, is to expand their business or put a location that makes them some income to pay the debt service. As far as a commercial loan, when you're thinking about buying a commercial property, you talk to a local bank or even a national bank, they're going to require that you put a minimum of 20%, 30% down. It will be a 5-year loan, but they use a amortization schedule, i.e. a payment schedule, as if it's a 15-year loan or a 20-year loan, depending on your credit status, your financial being, and so forth.
Okay, the first thing you mentioned was about the city zoning. Could you describe a little bit of difference between the types of city zoning for commercial properties there?
Yes. A shopping center, they take into consideration the amount of square footage in the shopping center to require the number of parking spaces you'll have. They usually have a traffic engineer consider how many cars ingress and egress out onto a public road to see if it's determined that there is a requirement for a deceleration loan, or in Gun Barrel City's case, they consider that example coming out of Walmart or some other. There's a Starbucks opening, and they considered all of the things involved with possible wrecks and things like that.